Rachel, the piece opens with a powerful, very personal story, a glad to be alive party. It's born from a decade-long experience with a melanoma diagnosis in 2004. Can you elaborate on the circumstances that led your family to make such an unusual decision?
Certainly. In 2004, my family received the kind of news that simply stops you cold, a melanoma diagnosis. This immediately rearranged our priorities. For 10 years, we lived with profound uncertainty, experiencing both hopeful and frightening moments. There were times when the future felt incredibly narrow and fragile. It was after this decade that we decided to hold this glad to be alive party.
And the piece is clear that this wasn't a denial of reality or a pretense that everything was suddenly fine. You describe it as an intentional act of gratitude in the presence of impermanence. That's a striking phrase. What does it mean to find gratitude when impermanence and the threat of loss is so present?
It means acknowledging the fragility of life without being consumed by fear. We weren't ignoring the past or the potential future difficulties. Instead, it was a conscious choice to say, we are still here. This breath matters. It was a celebration of existence itself in that specific moment, knowing how fleeting such moments can be.
It sounds like a profound experience, but then the piece pivots, suggesting we shouldn't reserve such celebrations for rare, life-altering milestones. You propose that a quiet, internal, glad-to-be-alive party could become a daily practice. How does one transition from a grand, singular event to an everyday orientation?
It's about recognizing that each morning we wake up breathing is in itself a significant enough reason. The point is not to create a loud, performative event every day, but a simple, internal orientation toward gratitude before what I call the complaining mind takes hold. It's a quiet acknowledgement of being here, now.
That complaining mind you mentioned resonates. It seems our default setting often involves scanning for what's wrong or what's missing. Is that an evolutionary trait? And if so, how do we counter it with daily gratitude?
It certainly seems built into us, that reflex of dissatisfaction. It likely has an evolutionary usefulness, helping us identify threats and strive for improvement. But if left unchecked, it narrows our field of vision and can harden the heart. Beginning the day with "I'm glad to be alive" consciously whitens that field again. It shifts focus from what's lacking to the fundamental gift of existence.
I can see the power in that, but it also raises a crucial point. You acknowledge this practice is easier when we have choices, safety, and conditions that suit us. It's much harder under constraint, oppression, illness, or loss. We must not minimize that reality, as you say. So how applicable is this daily gratitude when someone is truly suffering?
It's a critical distinction. We should never minimize the immense difficulty of practicing gratitude in the face of profound hardship. And yet, the piece argues that as long as breath is present, something extraordinary remains. This life, though fragile and temporary, is also astonishing. Impermanence isn't solely a threat. It's what makes each sunrise unrepeatable, each conversation unique, each shared moment impossible to duplicate. Even in suffering, the simple fact of being alive holds a profound weight.
So this daily glad to be alive isn't about denying suffering then, but rather changing our capacity to meet it. It feels like a subtle but powerful distinction.
Exactly. It doesn't deny suffering. Instead, it gives us strength to meet it. It is nourishment for courage, medicine for complaint, and ground for compassion. It is simply this: we woke up, we're breathing, we are here, glad to be alive.
It's a powerful shift in perspective, transforming what might seem like a mere platitude into a deep daily practice of acknowledging life's fundamental gift. If this conversation resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might find value in its message.